I am very sorry and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not giving a fuck. Someone can judge me, little bitch, I'm done.
Down in the depths, they patiently wait. They have no name. They have no face. Sooner or later, you'll come to know. Your bones will bleach, and the worms will grow. The devil's not red. He's slimy and green. They dine on the meat. Your skull is picked clean. Careful where you swim. Dark water, beware. The green slimy worms wait for you there.
Alright. Let's see if we can see this squirrel.
Wait.
I can zoom in. I don't even know how to zoom in.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, he's right there, huh?
Yeah! How cute.
Is he cute?
Yeah, cute. Sweet.
Mm. He just out there eating nuts?
Cause they're hungry.
Yep.
Sorry. He might be hungry. I started to see a rat tail. What's that?
Don't hit the window, sorry.
What's that? Or she get away, huh?
Yep.
Away.
He's just out there eating. Eating in the rain.
Yeah,
There he goes.
Wow.
He's hiding in the tree now.
Cause he don't want to get wet.
Yep. No, he's looking around. He might come back out to us. Let's see. There.
I see him a little.
Yep, there he comes.
Keisha, he likes to eat them. He blocks the animals.
Let's see. See what he does.
Whoa. Oh, climbed up the tree.
He must have been hungry, huh?
Can I hold it? Why? 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 Where is him? I see his red tail logo.
Yeah.
Why? I see Kimbo. Why? Why?
Yep. You think T-Bone's looking for him?
Looking for him for...
I think T-Bone's just going to pee.
pee.
Yeah, T-Bone just peeing. We won't take a picture and pee in.
No, don't. Oh, what that?
T-Bone's running.
Where? No, don't. What the baby? What the?
Okay.
Ow, don't step on my feet.
I guess that squirrel ran away while I was watching T-Bone, huh? Oh, no, wait. There he is.
What the?
Yeah, I think there he is. Let's see. Nope, there he goes. He ran off. Alright, say bye, squirrel.
Bye, squirrel. Bye, Pia. Bye.
buddy. Uh-oh, it's time. Well, we're here. The International UFO Museum and Research Center. It's a nice morning. Gonna check out all the UFO stuff here. Just waiting on them to open up the doors, and we're going in.
Morning, folks. Hey, look, I'm exploring digital art again, thinking about getting back into that. So I downloaded Rebel 8 Pro. It came down to Art Rage or Rebel. I know there's a lot of options out there, but I really wanted something with realistic physics for paint, and so I went with Rebel. I took this painting, which is done with oil, the water mixable oils on a 24 by 36 canvas. You guys have probably seen this. It's my latest. With Rebel, I added quite a few little details and just weird little lines and things to suggest things, and I really liked the way it interacted with the real paint. So overall, I am very happy with Rebel 8, very happy with my purchase, and expect more to come.
Well, all right. Hello, everybody. Let me get this out of the way. All right. I've had a lot of friends wanting to get into digital art, and so I keep promising to make some little tutorial videos. And my software of choice is Autodesk Sketchbook. Now, I used to pay a subscription for the Autodesk Sketchbook Pro membership, but now, luckily for everybody, it's 100% free. All the features, everything, all the stuff I used to pay for, you now have at your fingertips for free. So, the first thing I want to show you is you have all these different features, right? Right up here in your window, you have your toolbar, which is right up here. This is your toolbar. This has a lot of different little line tools, little ellipse tools, perspective tools, and my favorite right here, the symmetry tool. These are just things I would take my time and play with them. They all have little different features. Like, for instance, if I just draw a smiley face right here, I can grab this tool right here, and then I can stretch it out, give it like a 3D look. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff, right? Nice. Alright. Now, speaking of tools, this button right here is going to be your best friend. This is the undo tool. So if you mess something up, you just hit undo. And it will only go back so many steps. So, I mean, you do have to be careful. But you can play with your shapes and everything. And I don't do a whole lot of this. But it is there, like if you need to stretch something into place or make it look right, it's there. So we're going to turn this tool off, and then I'm going to erase that guy. Oh, speaking of eraser, on your if you're using an XP10 tablet or most Wicoms or any kind of tablet, on your stylus, the pen, usually if you click the top button on your stylus, it will switch from the brushes to the eraser. Alright, so over here is the brush library, and these are all the brushes and then some. And what I mean by and then some, because all these, a lot of these brushes come with the software, but you can also go out there. There's forums, and there's on the Autodesk support page, you can actually download these other brush sets, and then you can add them to your library simply by clicking on whichever brush set you want. I always like to go to the very bottom one, so I know that the brushes that I'm going to import are going to be on the bottom. This little circle right here, you click on it, you're going to go down here to import brushes, and then these are the files of all the brushes that I've downloaded. And as you can see, it's a lot, right? I have downloaded a lot. So we're going to select this watercolor, and now right here at the bottom of my set, I got my cool little watercolor brushes, and you can see Sketchbook does a really good job of mimicking paint, you know, trying to do what paint does digitally. So you got your brushes here. Now these two little things here are called your pucks. Now this puck here is your color puck. So whatever color you want your brush or your pencil or whatever to be, you're going to select the color, and then you got all the gradients. So you're going to select the color, bam, there it is, and look how it mimics the paint. And say I was drawing, you know, just had all kinds of stuff, and I was like, ooh, this little color right here, I want to use that. You grab your eyedropper, boom, right there. Now you've got that color right there. So piece of cake, right? And also you can erase certain colors by using this eraser button. I don't use that a lot, but that is a fun thing to do. Now this puck here is your brush puck, and what this puck does, left and right, you click on the puck, you hold it down. Right makes your brush bigger, left makes it smaller, and then also up makes it the flow, the opacity. Sometimes it's called flow, sometimes it's called opacity, but it's kind of how much paint you want to lay down and how thick. Now also a feature of most modern tablets is that I can stroke lightly and get very little paint even with it turned up to 100%, but the harder I push down, the more paint. It really is very, very reactive. I know Wacom's kind of the king of the mountain, but I do prefer XP Pen tablets. And right here is just kind of your default set. You can set this to any brush set up here that you like. So now over here is a very important tool. This is your layer editor, and layers will become very important to you when you're doing digital artwork. And you guys have all seen me do the Bob Ross stuff, right? So it would be very, very hard to do it without layers. So let's do a little quick Bob Ross kind of deal. We're going to make it like a sunny day. So right here, the background, this is the very base background color. You can change that to whatever you want. So we're going to have kind of a blue sky. I'm going to grab white in my little fan brush right here, and we'll throw in some clouds right over that little ghost of that happy face that I didn't get erased. And like I said, very, very reactive brushes. And again, if I turn the flow up, they come out a lot thicker. I don't have to push nearly as hard. turn the flow down. Gives me a little bit more control as to what I'm doing here. Put a couple up here in the corners. Just a nice sunny day. Look at that. We just want that one old cloud just floating out over there in the background. You can barely see him, right? So now this is our very farthest background layer, and I can't help it. I'm going to smooth these clouds out just a little bit with these smudge brushes. Can't help myself. Alright. It's not an official painting, we're just playing. So this is our very background layer. Let me get back on topic. Now what I'm going to do is, as I get closer to the viewer, to myself, you're going to add layers. So say now we want some mountains way off in the background. Now you guys remember the Bob's golden rules, right? The farther it is away, the less detail you have, and also the lighter it is. Things get darker as you move in closer. There we go. And then we'll throw in just a little bit of a different color just to kind of mix them as we get closer and closer. Alright, so we got some little mountains here. Now I like to grab these little fan brush kind of things. These just kind of mimic having a dry brush, almost like, you know, Bob with his palette knife, how he would scrape across the paint, and just gives a little bit of depth out there. Just a little bit of hints of details. You don't want actual details. Now here's another really cool thing. These layers all have this little slider bar right here, and I can turn up or down the visibility, the opacity of that layer. So I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because I want it to really fade out there into the distance. Now we're getting a little bit closer to ourselves, so we're going to add another layer. And now what I like to do, and if you go straight black, you will have to go back and add some color, because you don't want it straight black yet, but we can get there pretty quick. Now I like to, if you've watched my stuff, you know I like to do these little bays, little shoreline kind of things. And now I'm just using the eraser to kind of clean the lines up a little bit, trying to hide the brush strokes. So we've got this bank that's just kind of across the way from where we're sitting, and now I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to add a little bit of color. And I'm going to turn this way down because I don't want a whole lot of color. We just want a little bit of color over here. You know, and the sun's kind of sitting on that one side. Now another cool feature of, we'll clean that up a little bit. Another cool feature of Sketchbook and these brushes, and I can't stress this enough, if you really want to bring out your art and make it look nice, these little textured brushes right here, they're just like the ones you would buy at Hobby Lobby, the sponge brushes. Same concept. You know, that's way too dark though. I would say very light touch down in the single digits, and then you can start bringing in some of this little detail, and it will really take it from looking like a kind of a digital artwork into something else. Alright, now right here at the bottom of our little shoreline here, again I'm going to take this dry brush and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and we're going to drag this down just like old Bob would have done on his show, right? Because we got to get that reflection in there here in a second. Now remember I talked about the tools up here. One of my favorite tools is right here. You see these little shapes, but the most important one for me is this one right here. That's your line tool. If you want to create a straight line, you need that tool, and I use it a lot. Now see, I can drag straight across these reflections. I can start smoothing them out by using the lines. Gives it a much better look than if I tried to freehand this. Get that nice little reflection in there. And again, this is just a very basic, simple drawing, painting, however you want to call this. We're not going to get all super detailed on this. So that's kind of our shoreline that's across the way there. Now we're getting closer again, right? So we're going to add a new layer. Now this one can be pretty dark. Don't forget to turn that line tool off, because I do all the time. So we're just adding a random shape that's right here in front of us. And if you've kind of you know, maybe messed up in the background there, because I'm going to show you how to fix it. You can go back in time on your layers. Now I've recently had to redo my brush set, because when it went from being a paid service to a free service, I had to reinstall the whole software for whatever reason. I don't know why they made me do that, but so I don't have all my brushes back in here that I used to use. But see how this shore is dark? I like to use this little oil pen. We can put some little grass and foliage in here. Just a quick little jerk up, and then if you really drop the size of this down, then you can, you know, start putting you some little grass and stuff like that out here. But they do have when I'm in a hurry and I'm trying to draw one of these quick, like on a live stream or something, they do have a stencil that does a whole lot of this work for you. And I realize some people might think that takes away a little bit, but I really don't think it does. It's still your artwork. We'll put a little flower right here, a little weird looking flower. Alright, there it is right there. So now again, right there, I'm just filling that in. That was looking a little awkward to me. So again, we're not getting all super detailed. This is just a tutorial on how to use this. I'm not showing you a picture to draw. So now look what we got going on here. We've got this background that is blue. We've got our clouds on this layer. We've got these faraway mountains on this layer. We've got the far shoreline here, and then the one that's right in our face is right here. So if you look back here, see how that doesn't look right, does it? Doesn't quite look right. So what we can do, and this is the beauty of digital art, is you can go and grab that layer that has that faraway mountains and stuff on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to fix it. We're going to fuzz that up a little bit. If I can find my brushes. There we go. So I'm going to expand that brush out a little bit. I'm going to turn that flow up to about 4%. Get my line tool, and you'll notice that when I do this, it only affected that far away layer. See, it will not do anything with these layers out here. And now you've got this nice, smooth, misty looking far away shoreline out there. I can turn that off and just go back and start kind of blending this stuff in, and it will only affect that layer that you have selected. And you can see you can kind of go back in time and fix the stuff that you think you've messed up. Now on this very bottom layer where the clouds are, I can do this. I can go there because nothing else will be affected except for this layer that has the clouds. It's even behind our little misty mountains out here. Now when I do a water reflection, I just grab like random colors, but for this, because it is such a nice clear day, I'm just going to throw a little bit of white out there. And you don't have to get super intense. I'm going to grab that line tool again, but this time I'm going to turn that intensity up a little bit, and then we start getting our little water reflections out there, and it'll really make a nice water effect to kind of show those clouds in the sky reflecting off the water. And just smooth it out. Get it to where you like it. So you got something like that going on. And then we also, back here on our layer with this far away shoreline, we're going to take a little detail brush, a little oil brush, and we're just going to make it smaller. And then I'm just going to, I got the line tool on. See, look there. And now we're going to use the undo button. So now we're just going to go out here, and I'm really just laying in this little highlight right here on the bottom. You'll find that it really will help you make your water look better. I'll throw a few little highlights out here in the water, and then we will take our little brush again, turn the line tool on. I'm going to turn that intensity, the flow, down to about 3 on this one. So we're going to really have to work and pull, because I want it to keep a lot of the shape. I'll turn the size down a little bit. We'll get out here. Alright. And again, this is not going to be some super detailed painting. And we'll go up here, and this airbrush is also one of my favorite brushes. Way back down here in our first layer again, I'm going to add a little bit of contrast to the color of this water. So this is what we'll do. We're on this bottom layer, but I don't want to mess up the stuff that I already have done there. So on this bottom layer, if I add a new layer at this point, it will be between the clouds and our original water in this far shoreline. And there I go, leaving my line tool on again. So we're going to just add a little bit of color into this water, just a little bit different colors, just because we think it looks cool. As a matter of fact, I want that a little bit brighter. Yeah, there we go. Nice little colors. And again, what you're going to do is you're going to take the tool, the little brush, or little blending brush, It's my favorite brush right there. I believe that is my favorite brush. We're going to turn our line tool back on, and then we're just going to kind of start blending all these across. I'm actually going to turn that flow up because I really want these to blend and mix in with each other. Now you can play with this and come up with your own style, however you want to do it. So now we've got all these layers, and we've got a nice little scene here. And you can play with this, and you can add details, and you can practice playing with all the different little textured brushes, which I highly recommend because they're super fun to play with. But the main thing today is just focus on how to use your layers. You get your background, that's the clouds, that's the color on the water, that's our far away mountains, that's the far shoreline, this one right here, and this is what's right in front of our face. Just start playing with these things and have fun with it. And remember, you can always undo it. And if you don't like it, you can always just erase it and start over. But very quickly, once you start getting used to this, you can do some digital artwork pretty fast. Now, another one of my big favorite brushes to play with, and you guys have seen me use this several times. Let me find it. All my brushes are in different places now. This is a glow brush. Now, I love this glow brush because it's like a big old highlighter. Now, what we're going to do is there's several ways you can play with it. So I'm on this very top layer. If I just turn the line tool off, dummy. If I just start throwing it down, and then you got the sun and the sky up there. But what I want to do is go way down here to the bottom layer and just kind of give everything a little misty background look. We're going to turn that intensity up. Maybe have the sun kind of peeking up down there. Yeah, something like that. Turn the flow way down again. That way we can play with our clouds a little bit here. Now, isn't that a cool effect? Doesn't that look good? And you can also, hide a little bit of that down here underneath your water. Get everything looking nice and warm. So up here on our very top layer, since we've got this nice warm little either sunrise or sunset going on, I'm going to grab a little bit of orange and just kind of start sticking a little bit out there. You don't have to, you don't have to go crazy. Just some hints. And then I like to go red, and I'm just kind of hitting some spots. Again, you don't have to go crazy with anything. Then a little purple, and we'll get this nice little effect right here. And then since this is a layer all by itself, and you see these little brush marks out here, what you do when you get those brush marks, and what we're actually going to throw a little dark purple up here, kind of in the sky. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. So what we'll do, because all these colors and these highlights are on a separate layer by themselves on the very top of this, I'm going to take my blending brush, my smudge brush. We're going to turn it up to, now this is a very powerful brush, so about 3%. And then we're just going to start working this in. I'm just going to start blending. 2 hairs and some air, as Bob would say. And do remember that these tablets are reactive to how hard you're pushing and how fast you're moving your hand. So, and now we got all this blended in. We got rid of all those old brush strokes, and now we've got a nice little weird looking portrait here. And the main thing is go up here grab this little pen, whichever kind of pen you want to use, it doesn't matter. Find your brush, find your style, find your signature. Make sure you sign these things and make sure you're proud of them. I don't care what they look like. Don't ever compromise. Make sure that your style is your own and enjoy yourself. Relax. This stuff is not hard. I will always be there. If you need me to walk you through something, we'll do one of these together. And then don't forget to save your work. So we're going to save, and you can see all the creepy stuff I do in it, and stuff's pretty creepy. We're just going to call this BRT. Alright. Now here's the other thing. When you watch my live shows, you see me do magic time. And all magic time is I run my art through a filter. And it's just like an Instagram filter or a Facebook filter. And I don't care what anybody thinks about me doing that. I like to run my artwork through a filter, because you will see that it will bring these colors together. Gives me a lot more control over the finished product here. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up in my favorite program. It's called Photor. And there's nothing special about Photor. It's just the one that I've played with the most. It's the one I'm the most comfortable with. It's the software I've used so much, I know what it's going to do, right? So I know you got all these different effects you can throw on there, but I know that this nostalgic is the one that I'm going to use. Most of my landscapes, I'm going to use nostalgic. And you can see how it just kind of brings everything together, makes it look a little bit better. And then I'm going to turn that sharpness back up, and I'm going to add the saturation is the amount of color, right? So we're going to turn that contrast right here down just a little bit. Turn the color all the way up, because I'm weird like that. Now the temperature, like you can set the sky on fire, you can make it a cold morning. I want it about like that right there. And see how it kind of brings all those different colors together that we had up in the sky. Very cool. Now you can kind of darken it with a vignette here. You can make it look like or you can make it super bright like you got a hangover. I'm going to darken it up just a little bit, because I want this to kind of look like either a sunset or a sunrise. The tint gets weird. You can add the little rose colors, and I think I do want a little bit of red in that sky though, so maybe about like that right there. Of course, the darkness and light, you can play with it, but again, there's no right or wrong answer here. You just play with it, make it your own, have fun with it, and don't ever compromise on your style or your vision. Don't try to draw like anybody else. Just be you. You'll have a good time, and I hope this helps everybody. See, I saved my work. We're going to close Photor. We're going to go back in our sketchbook. We're going to open that one that we just saved. What do we call that? BRT. Bam. And look at there. We got a nice little painting in a very short amount of time. And I hope you have fun with it. If you need help, reach out. Let me know. You can really surprise yourself with this. Have fun with it. Y'all take care. Love y'all. I'll see you in the next video.